Right. So the TED Talk I chose was How Virtual Reality Can Create the Ultimate Empathy Machine by Chris Milk. Chris Milk's background is that when he was a child, he had an Evil Knievel toy. And he would take this toy and he would go on all these adventures with it. It felt like he was right there with it because he had the imagination of a child. They're very active. And he developed empathy for his Evil Knievel toy. Well, as he grew up, he wanted to take that empathy and allow other people to feel it so that they could really be in the shoes of other people. Um, Sorry, I'm getting a text. So the reason I chose this TED Talk was because I believe that people being able to feel empathy is a good thing. And it's very hard to feel empathy. For people, sympathy comes a lot more naturally, especially because they can imagine what it's like, but they've never really felt someone's situation. They've never been in their shoes. So if you were to ask me, how hard is it to make sourdough bread, for example, I would say I have no idea. Never baked in my life. But a baker might say it's either really easy and there's simple steps, or it's really hard. And I could say, oh, that's cool, but I can't share their emotions entirely because I've never tried it. That being said, after hearing that this type of technology can bridge that gap, it seemed very exciting, and I wanted to do my assignment on it. So, as for the overview of the TED Talk, it is Chris Milk talking about originally his childhood, where he was playing with the Evil Knievel toy. He had the empathy for it. And then when he grew up, he decided to share that with others. He became a filmmaker, first of all, and then he made advertisements, I believe. That way that he could try to make people feel empathy. I think it was towards Evil Knievel. And I don't think that went very well. I think he said in like a joking manner that he finally got his autograph from Evil Knievel, but it was in like some writing. It was some legal document. Um, well, then he tried to make a website. This website would allow you to input your address, and it would simulate a person running down a road. That road would be your road, and the place they would end up was your home, your address. And apparently, that I don't remember the exact details of it, but how it was made really resonated with people, and he got very good feedback from it. So then he went a step further and he made a triptych. This triptych would allow you to experience things like, or experience what you would look like if you were a bird, for example. I believe it was a bird. And you would flap your arms. As you flap your arms, you would grow wings and even tail feathers where your legs are. Wings where your arms are and tail feathers where your legs are. And then as you flap harder, you can fly away. And then because that had really good feedback, he went a step further and he started to work with the United Nations to make a 360-degree camera, that could properly record a situation. And when that film was used with the virtual reality device, it made you feel like you were really there. So he took that film, he took those virtual reality devices, and he gave it to people in power, people who could actually do something about the situations in those films, and he wanted to persuade them to help. Apparently, it worked, so that's awesome. And because it worked, he was developing more films on it, and he wanted to get them out to more people in power with the help of the United Nations, which seems incredible. Now, the three questions I would ask him are, how long has this project taken? Because if he looked at 40 or less, probably less than 40 years old in that video, in my opinion. I can't tell age very well. I can't tell age very well, so very well might be. But if it's that he's very young, then it could very well develop into something huge in the next 10, 20 years. It's already been 10 years, so there might already be huge developments in that, and there might be a lot of people getting help. Another question I asked was, how hard was it to make this reality? Because this is a very inspiring thing. He just went from a boy playing with a toy to a man able to help bridge the empathetic gap between people and get really powerful people to help those in need. And the last question uh, is there a future where this is commonplace technology? The reason why I ask that is because in the mental health field, or even just when you're with friends, if you're having a tough time explaining what's going on and you have a tough time talking about it, if you can just give them a view of what's going on, that would make everything so much clearer, and it'll allow people to really bridge that empathy gap and really help each other out emotionally. But as I am running out of time, I'm going to end this here. Those are my thoughts on the TED Talk, though.